Hey y'all, welcome to the Blade Lab. I have another sort of grayish knife review and overview for you. This is the Machine-Wise Mojave. This is Machine-Wise's second traditional folding knife design. It's a company out of Arizona that started out and continues to make balisong knives that are apparently really good. I'm not into balisongs, but I guess they have quite a good reputation for making them. Their first knife was the Machine-Wise Sonora, which I have previously reviewed. You might check that out. It's a real beauty there too. We'll do a size comparison in a bit. But let's go over this. So this is a titanium frame lock knife. I should have specified that. These come in a variety of anodization and milling pattern options. Blade finish also. They also come in a variety of different steels. This particular one is I believe their first batch in S90V, which they are running, I believe they say from 62 to 63 HRC, which is excellent. I personally, this is a subjective thing, but I really like this milling pattern that they have on there. It's sort of the high voltage anodization job that gives you different looks from different perspectives. It is obviously a flipper knife, and it has some jimping there. We actually do have the steel here and the serial number. This is number 235. They have not been making these for very long, and they don't make a whole ton of them, so they're not the easiest things to come by. Let's just go ahead and open it up. Ooh, super cool blade, huh? This is, I think, what they call their light wash finish. This is not the factory edge, which was pretty good, not great. It was at about 20 degrees per side. I've lowered the angle to 17 degrees per side, and we're going to talk about that and the width of the bevel in a moment. I should have mentioned before I opened it up that it also has a milled pocket clip, which we will talk about, and this sort of combination backspacer and lanyard loop. Let's talk about just the dimensions of it to begin with. So I will break out my trusty ruler, and we will say that the blade length is 3.5 inches. And the cutting edge length is about 3 3/8 inches. The overall length from the tip to the lanyard loop is 8 3/8 inches. And just the handle length, you can always do that math there yourself, is just about 4 7/8 inches. Hope my head wasn't in there. Let's do a couple size comparisons. So I told you I was going to compare it to the Sonora. So here you go. Sonora is smaller. We can also compare it to another knife I have on the table here, which is the Brown Knives FSD Mini, which is also smaller. Let's compare it to another recent addition is the McNeese Dixon, which is larger, not tremendously so, but larger. And let's compare it to some more commonly found knives, such as the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which is actually smaller. It's shorter overall than the Mojave, and we'll compare it to, obviously the Benchmade is going to be considerably smaller. Cool. In terms of size, we can also talk about how thin this knife is. It is unusually thin. I'd say average knife thickness, not including the pocket clip, is about 1/2 inch. This one is, let's see if we can find it here. It's about 0.4, what is that? About 0.41 inches, so really quite slim. I generally prefer, this is just a personal preference thing, I generally prefer sort of chunkier knives, but there are times when it's nice to have a thin knife. If you're going out, you're wearing sort of thin slacks, or maybe light gym shorts, you don't want a big chunky cigar, sticking out of your pocket. So, yeah, it's a full-sized but thin knife, almost sort of a gentleman carry type situation. Let's talk about, well, okay, before we go there, I guess I did point out the logo here. I will show you the inside of the knife. I have a disassembly video, and it is running on bearings. You can see it has this nice milling on the lock bar relief, which takes us into the action, which is, in my mind, where this knife really sort of stands out. It just has super crisp action, and I might just zoom out a little bit more here so we can get a better view of this. So it does have the flipper tab, which works fantastically. You can light switch it. You can also, push button it. The fuller or groove in the blade works fantastic for the reverse flick, and also works for the thumb flick. I believe this probably works fine for left hand. Yeah, the reverse flick works fine lefty, as long as you're, coming down on the clip, which is not hard because the clip is fairly long. Just for reference, I'm pretty bad about not very coordinated with my left hand. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So yeah, it's hard to express visually how crisp this detent is, but it is super crisp, and the closing action is obviously drop shut and very smooth. So, as I said, that is to me the standout feature of the Mojave, and it's really impressive and unusually good, as you would hope for a knife in this price category. So it does bounce out sometimes. I will stop now. It's kind of addicting. As I look at this, I forgot to mention that the hardware, interestingly, is all T15s, not just the pivot, but I'm sorry, yeah, I don't know about the inside of the lock bar insert, but I have to look at that on the photo I'll post. But yeah, so these screws and the pivot are all T15, which is pretty wild. There is, as I've suggested, and we'll see it better in the disassembly video, but there is a lock bar insert, steel lock bar insert, and there's definitely weight relief in there, which you'll see, and there's like a little cactus inscribed in there, which is kind of cool for the Arizona roots. As far as the blade shape goes, it is sort of, I would describe it as a Wharncliffe. I guess some people might say it's a reverse Tanto. I don't know. I don't think I would say that, but let's just call it a Wharncliffe. You can see, I think, you got these sort of cool milling lines inside the blade groove there, which is nice. Has this sort of really interesting swedge up here. You have jimping below and up on the blade. So if you want to make use of this front finger choil and put your thumb up the blade to do a sort of detailed cutting, or like so, you have real good sort of gription, as Shabazz would say. So really well designed for practical use. In terms of that, sort of micro milling, you can also see it's present on the lanyard loop slash backspacer, which is cool. You can see that there is a little dedicated sort of landing area for the pocket clip. And now for the downside to me. Let's talk about the pocket clip. So I think it looks nice. It certainly flows with the design, and just to look at it, you would think it would be pretty functional. It's relatively thin, but it's really stiff, super stiff, and it works okay in thin pants or probably even normal jeans. But I happen to have a bunch of pants that have thicker seams, and these are just Levi's, 501s. You can see, you can see that I carry knives a lot because the pocket's completely torn up there. But if we go up here to a cleaner section of the pocket, and it goes in relatively well actually just now. But you can see pulling it out, even if I'm not pressing on it, it's tight, man. It's like works, but it's tight. So that is something that I don't love. I would ask them to give us a little bit more flexibility. Maybe just thin this out some. Maybe drill a little hole in the middle of it so it's just not so stiff. So that is one nitpick, and it's a pretty big one for me. I'm a real kind of a pocket clip Nazi. It just bothers me when I have to struggle getting a knife in and out of my pocket. But I will leave that there. My other big nitpick with this knife is just that the blade, while it is relatively thin stock, or normal stock, I would say it's about 0.125, I think is probably what it is. So yeah, pretty average blade stock, but it wasn't ground very thin. This edge I have on here is a 17-degree edge bevel, and that's what I would expect maybe a 15-degree edge bevel to look like on a well ground, in my opinion, EDC knife. So that was a little disappointing to me. You can see, if I fold it up, you can see, get a better idea of what the thickness behind the edge is there. So yeah, I would have been happier if they had ground this thinner behind the edge, and I don't know why they didn't. I'm sure that this is a machine bevel. I mean, you would think that would be something you could dial in, but they did not. So let me go back to this inside view of the knife, because it occurred to me that I forgot to mention a few things. So starting off, let's notice the bearings. Machine-wise, right now is using skiff bearings, which is pretty cool. Very high quality bearings. And they've suggested that they may be manufacturing their own going forward. So we'll just have to see what happens there. You see that it also has an internal stop pin, or actually two internal stop pins, which is interesting, and they are very beefy. You can also see the weight relief, which is extensive, and also notice that the lock bar insert, which is also an over travel stop, is also attached by a T15 screw, which is impressive, and also has two pins keeping it in there, which I guess leads to really good alignment. So let's talk again about the detent. If you'll notice, the detent hole. It's not quite a hole, but a pocket in the tang of the blade. It's quite large, and that's because they are using a flattened detent, which you can see in this close-up shot. That is what gives this knife such a super crisp detent, and it's something I wish we would see more of in EDC knives. It's just such a superior system to the rounded detent ball, just in terms of feel and crispness. So I love that about this knife. So to sum up, I consider this a very recommendable knife. It has beautiful machining, gorgeous finishes, excellent blade steel, tremendous action, and it is a version 1, so if it was up to me, I would recommend a couple improvements to machine-wise. One of them would be to give us a slightly thinner blade grind so that when you lay the edge back, you don't get such a wide bevel, and it also would just give you better cutting geometry. And the other change that I would recommend would be to just thin out that pocket clip so that it's not so extraordinarily tight and stiff. One other note I would say I should have brought up is, I find this, I'm not a lanyard guy myself, so it's not something that I look for is sort of lanyard, except, lanyard holes. But this thing is, you can see that it's beveled on either side. Hopefully you can see that. So it comes to a bit of an edge in the back. And when you're actuating, or at least when I'm actuating the flipper, that thing sort of pokes into the palm of my hand, which is not, it's not terrible, but it's not the most comfortable thing in the world either. So I think if you sort of took those bevels off or made it less sharp, that would also be a bit of an improvement. So that is going to sum it up. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please click the thumbs up button below, like it, and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. And I'll see y'all next time.